Hi, welcome to Rum and Tings, where we drink rum and talk about things. I'm your host, Lana.
And I'm Mr. X.
And today, our guest speaker is...
Brittany.
And make sure to like and subscribe for more content, as well as our topic today is trust issues. So, Mr. X, what are your opinions on trust issues?
Well, trust issues is one of the biggest impacts on relationships. It's one of the top reasons why relationships fail. And our people get very uncomfortable in it. It leads to like many different things, like you gotta track people, know exactly where they be, feel the need to go through people's phones, Lana, anyways. But it's something that is vital. It needs to be worked on to a certain extent where both parties are happy.
Disclaimer, I do not go through phones. Okay, thank you. So, Brittany, what are your feelings towards trust issues?
I'll probably focus more on the word trust, which has to be earned at one point. So within the relationship, if the trust is broken in the beginning, the whole relationship will go left.
But I got a question though. So trust, do you believe, or do you truly believe, not just in relationships, is trust either earned or something you innate have to a certain extent in the beginning? Then it's up to you whether it increased the trust or the person fucks up and they lose the trust.
Right there. I would say I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. In the beginning of the relationship, I would focus on everything that you say is the truth. Until you give me some reason to not trust
So
you.
innocent until proven guilty,
Correct.
essentially.
Exactly.
So you go into a relationship with some element of trust, and then if it's broken or anything happens, then it starts to waver. But from the beginning of the relationship, there's trust there, and it only builds up or decreases depending on what happens or which direction it goes.
Correct. I also believe that in a relationship, we need to go into that relationship open-minded. So if you have all these, I'm not going to take this, it's going to be problems in the beginning. So
let's say the trust is broken though, right? And then you do start to have those trust issues. How do you work through that? How do you resolve that? And do you ever fully get over it? Or is it just some of those things where you say you forgive, but then you keep it in the back of your mind all the time?
It's a little tricky with that because you're supposed to forgive if you want to continue that relationship.
Yes.
And if you constantly hounding him or telling him, oh, you're a liar, you're never going to get past that. So within my relationship, if I say I trust you, I trust you.
So is it that you forget, or is it just that you just don't think about it?
I don't think about it.
You don't think about it?
That right there is no. It's not a problem at all.
I think that's a good approach.
That's truly what you're supposed to do. If let's say, hey, infidelity talking to somebody you did not like that, and you say forgive them. If you truly forgive them, you do not bring it up. That's one of the biggest issues of that a guy experienced, because it's most likely going to happen at some point where something I'm gonna do that's going to violate your trust. Doesn't necessarily mean cheating or something. I say I'm gonna do something and I left you hanging. I'm gonna violate your trust at some point, and I do the work to get you to forgive me. You say you forgive me, then you throw it back into my face anytime you can. Then that caused me to react.
I think the biggest thing for me would be, well, how do you, as the person, perceive cheating, right? Do you perceive it as you made a mistake, or it was something that you intentionally did? And that plays a part in trust issues. Because if you truly believe that it was an accident, then you are more likely to forgive, because you're like, well, this person didn't mean to do it, they just slipped and fell. But if you felt like they intentionally did something, like they went out of their way to do something, then it negatively affects how you build that trust again, because now you're like, well, he purposely did this. So it depends on how you look on cheating.
It may not be always his fault. They may have spilled some baby oil on the floor and you just slipped and fell into it and just oh shit, my bad.
But
I'm sorry.
see, the thing is, if a woman tells her man, oh, I just slipped and fell on him, right? Are you gonna be like, dang, maybe you shouldn't spill baby oil on the floor?
My question is, why you don't have your underwear?
She's more on the you should have known better, or he knows better. Why did he do that? Like he knows.
Yeah,
better.
like you know that you're not supposed to do that, and so it depends. The trust issues really is dependent on the person. Because it could be like, well, if I know that you know better and you did it, then you are intentionally doing something wrong. So you're intentionally trying to hurt me. But if I look at it like, oh, he didn't mean to, she trapped him, she drugged him or he was drunk or whatever, then you kind of be like, it's not his fault. So then he can waiver all responsibility because it wasn't his fault. So it depends on how the person looks on cheating, which would affect the trust issues.
But you also have to think of some men put themselves in positions for failure. Say, hey, you go to the strip club every weekend. There's so much temptation there. Like, why are you there?
And with alcohol.
Who said I got the money to afford it? Booty's expensive.
We know
I
that.
know you have that. That shit is not cheap at all. You have to choose between meal for a week or booty. And as long as I'm getting some during the week, that's gonna be kind of a hard no.
But some men use it as a breakaway.
But I give it though. Booty, they do half price. Yeah, it'd be kind of risky. Then yes, I can give you that energy.
Okay.
But booty does not go. They don't have specials.
But then let's look at cheating outside of just like a sexual, physical nature. What if it's like emotional cheating? Like what if he is texting another woman and he's emotionally bonding with another woman, right? Now, is that seen worse than physically having sex with somebody, or is it seen as not as bad?
I think it's kind of worse. Because that emotional bond, that's something you can't break.
That I can agree with you on. So the physical cheating is more of how it's more of a insecure, like, okay, hey, am I providing what this person need to keep them there? If it's emotional cheating, then that's actually more intimate, where you can own somebody mentally, and that's hard to break away.
I agree with you.
Yeah, but some good dick is hard to break too. Don't forget that.
Well, I mean, that's a tricky subject.
All right, be honest. Be honest. There's plenty of relationships that you knew damn well you should have ended that, but it's like, damn, that shit was
It's
good.
more, but I feel like in that situation, it's more than just the dick.
She shook her head.
You
Should have been gone like 3 weeks ago, but let me hold on a little bit longer. So he may change.
I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes. It's like you get so wrapped up in it, and I think it's more than just a good dick, It's that you get your emotions wrapped up so much in it, and you put so much energy and time and feelings and love into this person that it's not that easy for you to just be like, no, I can't. Because then you look back, you're like, especially if you've been with them for like years, you look back, it's like, wow, those are wasted years that I could never get back. My only option right now is to go forward. Because another thinking is, well, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So what if I leave him and then I get another dude who's worse? And then I'm like I'm behind square one. Because square one was other dude who somewhat may have treated me better. So there's always that thought that the next guy might not be any better. And I'm stuck in the same position or worse than I am right now.
That is definitely that's a common misconstrued thing that women will do. There's like, this man fucks up in any shape or form. Mm-hmm. Then you believe that, oh, he did this, I should end it. Do you really think the next nigga's not gonna do that? Are we wired differently?
I mean, but there are some men who just, it goes against their morals and principles just to do that.
It's not that it goes against the morals, but it's the point of that long it's not something that's happening non-stop. Mm-hmm. Genuinely, overall, yes, that issue may have some things working on, but overall, he's treating you very well. making sure you are fulfilled, not your stomach's fed, your living conditions are good, you have minimum stress, and he's catering to you. That should.
So
that
does that
shouldn't be,
excuse?
No, that's just things to look at before you just say, hey, let me end it, and believe that it may not happen again in next relationship. And I can clearly say that, hey, you've been cheated before, right?
Cheated on before?
Yes.
Yes.
Then you left the relationship, yes.
Yes.
Then you got into another one, correct?
Correct.
Did he cheat?
No.
Then why you broke up?
Because he was annoying.
All right, you got different problems. So.
It may not always be the cheating part. It could be like you said before, that emotional bond was like disconnected.
No,
that is
but,
also true.
But the focus is pointing on, yes, you've been in a relationship, but if I can guarantee you've been into a relationship, the trust was violated, just simply violated in any shape or form. So you left, got into a relationship with somebody else, and guess what? The bitch happened again. The trust was violated.
But the way that sounds.
Well, just on the final leg of that point, is the fact of the matter is it don't leave just because something happened. It's all about, is it possibly that thing's going to change and stop happening?
Well, the way that sounds is like, well, he was 95% good, then forget about the other 5%. But I think the way that men look at it is like, the 95% is good, the 5% might not be so good. But for women, that 5% is detrimental. So for men, physically cheating might not be as big of a deal than it is to women. So that 5% might seem minuscule when you compare it to 95% of good.
Yeah.
But for women, that's more like a good 60%. So you failed at least 60% and you're good in the 40%. That's still not balancing out good, because we weigh things differently from different perspective, women to men, and like so many other things play a part into that. So you can't really say, well, if your stomach is fed and you live good and you're taken care of, then it's fine, because it's not really an excuse or a good combat to say, well, you know, if you messed up like twice a year, it should be fine.
No, it's not. But you're looking at the perspective of a perfect math. There's no such thing as a perfect math when it comes to relationship. Meaning, you have to give and take. Meaning, when I look for somebody in the relationship, there's the desires of what I want, certain characteristics. Then, if I pay attention just specifically to that, I'm gonna skip a lot of stuff that may be great. That I'm just focusing all this time on stuff that specific stuff that I may never find. It's out there. It's out there. Even if me and you work out, I'm not ignorant to know that, hey, there's somebody out there that's better than me. Bigger dick, more money. But you screwed up. You couldn't find him, so we're together.
I mean, I didn't look that hard, but I mean.
That makes me feel. I feel so much better.
It sounds like, Mr. X, it sounds like you're saying, oh, you should settle. You should settle.
No, not necessarily. It just means that, hey, you need to evaluate things sometimes, especially when over X amount of time. When it says X, it varies. Over X amount of time, you're not finding what you're looking for, then your demands may be too high for your situation.
That could
It's
be.
May.
Oh yeah,
That
May.
could
May.
be.
That's the key word.
I was
May.
like, wait, hold on. Because if I'm looking for someone, if I say, okay, I don't want to date anybody lower than this tax bracket. What are you trying to say? I'm not supposed to stick to that, like.
But that's where the May comes.
It's realistic.
You're trying to get a guy who makes $50,000 in a poor part of Alabama where their median income is 32. So that's where that May comes in. You're most likely not gonna find it. It's because of where you are.
Right.
Then versus where you're in an area where the medium is 60,000 and you can't get nobody out there, then most likely your demands are too high. You're just a little ugly. A little ugly.
I think it's about being realistic, and I feel like a lot of women do have some unrealistic demands or expectations of men. I feel like in our minds we could be thinking them of perfect beings, and so when they do mess up or they come with flaws, we're like, this isn't the one. Like, the one for me is just perfect. He should know everything, and he should just know, right? He should be that perfect person that just knows me and fits into my life. And that's not very realistic. It's not. So we do have to fix that and start to think more practical.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean, though, that if you are dating a man that might be perfect in all areas, but he's a constant cheater, you should erase that to be like, well, he's perfect everywhere else, because that's still not a good deal.
But right there though, yes, it's not a good deal. But the main question is, before I would say leave that party, is if he's wanting to change or not. That's the key part right there. If he does not want to change,
or if he doesn't see anything wrong,
that is another issue. But then that goes into wanting to change. Now I can say this: I'm a man. I verified, and yes, I do have sexual desires, not just on a partner, but I'm going to desire other stuff too.
okay.
Yeah, it's a constant battle to not pursue those desires, and eventually, let's be realistic, it may or may not happen.
Well, if that is how you look at it, right? If women are hypergamous, meaning, we want higher than us, then we can say, well, you make decent amount of money, but it's still in my nature to go out there and find a man that makes more money than you. So is it okay if I go test the waters out there and find me somebody who makes more money than you?
Well, I would say that it's not, well, if you're in a relationship, long-term relationship, yeah, it's not okay. But before you get to that fact, there's nothing wrong with that, because it's
well, that's
it's
dating. Well, that's dating stage.
Yeah, I'm making that clear though. In that particular area, yeah, it's okay, because you're going to soon dedicate your life to one person. Now, it's a difference if you went into that contract, i.e., marriage. Then that you're saying, hey, this person met your qualifications, and you're going to try to be there, do the good and the bad, the sick and the health. The bad part is that's where the bad part includes the trust issues and stuff, that the weather action that comes with it. But with that though, before you leave and go, just make sure you evaluate before you leave that is they person, if they make a mistake, if they're trying to change on it, there's something to work on, and did you exhaust all the resources to try to fix that situation. Now, don't waste too much time. That's the caveat, because the older you get, the less likely you're gonna find a man. But don't waste too much time. But don't leave too early, because the grass is not always greener on the other side.
True, but it also it matters, and everybody has a level to disappointment. Okay, so if you're dating, and within this dating stage, she does something to break your trust, I don't see anything wrong with me not wanting to be with you anymore.
No, there's nothing wrong.
Because we're in the beginning stage and you already messed up. It's time for me to go. My level has been broke. But if we're in a marriage now, it becomes different, because this person, you establish this bond and this foundation. I can't just walk away from this. So it's different.
Yeah.
But it also comes in, are you marrying somebody who broke your trust in the dating stage? Did you ignore that and say, well, maybe it was a one-time thing, and then you get into this marriage with somebody who's already shown a pattern of breaking trust? Because then that's a little bit different, because you kind of take some of the responsibility in that, because you saw the pattern, the red flags, but you essentially just ignored it or thought it would get better. But essentially that was who that person is, unless they try to make that constant decision to change and do better. So if you are in a dating stage and they start off doing that and you continue on with that, then I mean that's a little bit on you too because you made that decision.
That
But if you're dating somebody and they show you no red flags, everything is good. Not saying it's perfect, but it's good. It's meeting your needs, it's meeting your wants, and then after you get married, something happens, then it's like that's out of character. That might be a reason for that. That's something I feel like could be a little bit better worked on than somebody showing you this throughout the whole stages of dating, relationship, and marriage.
Let's a scenario. You're dating this guy for a while now. 2 years has passed. He proposed to you guys. You get married. Within that dating stage, he was perfect. He's doing all the right things. The relationship is perfect. No issues. You guys get married. 3 months after you guys get married, you find out he was doing XYZ in the dating stage. What do we do from there?
It's subjective. Here's the thing though.
Where do we go from there?
It's subjective. It's meaning as it's something you have to evaluate with yourself and truly be able to accept whichever decision you make. Nobody can tell you what's the best course of action to make because let's say you stay, you keep on cheating, nothing changed, or you leave and you run into the same predicament, or you never found somebody who made you that happy, even though they had defects. You have to really evaluate which decision you're going to make and accept it, because each of them has a consequence. Staying, you can be miserable and destroy you mentally. Leaving, there's a chance you may have never found somebody that made you that happy again, and now you're lonely, and then you end up settling with something else that's subpar than what you chose before.
Well,
you have to really evaluate the possibilities and be realistic for yourself. There's no true right answer. Nobody can tell you, hey, damn sure don't listen to your single friends. It's like, oh, fuck that guy. You can do better. You can do that all by yourself. And guess what? That bitch is all by herself.
But I don't know. I feel like for me, if he marries me under the false pretense that everything is good, and then it turns out that he's been doing all of this, I'm kind of torn between that, because I think that's a little bit worse, because it's like you did it for so long behind my back. Like that for me, I don't know if I'll be able to trust you, because you were able to hide that for so long. It's like, well, if you say you stop now, how do I know you truly stop? Because you can tell me you stop, but you could still doing it if you are that good at hiding it. And I feel like that plays a part in the trust issues. It's like, if you're good enough to hide it, I don't know if I could trust you. I could maybe trust somebody who did it and I caught him like in an instant. Then I'm like, okay, he's not gonna hide and stuff. So if but if you could hide it for years and keep it a secret, that to me that's a bit much.
Okay, then there's two questions to that. Then the first question is, would you rather? It's plain like that. Would you rather somebody who cheats often, and you find out every time, or he just simply tells you, he'd be honest because he feel guilty, or you rather somebody who does it? And this is only for specific. Let's be clear. It's only for this to really think about it. Or would you rather, the lesser of two evils? Would you rather a guy who he did it before, cheated, and you never found out? You may find out years later, but you're happy all the thing. And one time you find out years later, or you rather somebody who do it more often, but because you find out, he tells you. Which one would you rather?
Each way is gonna break me, but what you don't know don't hurt.
Yeah. But what's done in the dark always comes to the light. So
right.
it will come back and bite me in my ass one day.
I had my dirty dog days. I wasn't that good.
It'll come back and bite me in the ass one day. So I don't know. I feel like for me, the fact that you're able to hide it, and especially if it's for a very long time, it's like that's a very deep secret, right? That you're hiding from me. So I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna be like, we gonna have to talk about this. We gonna have to figure something out.
I got an off the topic question. So let me slow down with this because it's just slowly erasing my brain. So, shit, it's gone.
You forgot.
Wait a minute. It's already gone.
It's gone.
It was right there, but
It
now
was
it's
there.
gone.
I had a couple letters left, and then it was gone. But, I think I got it. I'll paraphrase it. Then it's gone again.
Oh my God. Okay.
It'll come back. It'll
No
come
more
back.
room for you.
I think it's basically, I feel like everybody has that breaking point, and there's like levels to it. We all
Yeah.
have this thing is, if he cheats on me, I don't want to be with him. It is
Yeah.
over. But it's not
Not
always
that
the
easy.
case. It's not
No.
always the case. You can't just walk away from something you have, especially if you have children involved, or if you're
Yeah.
married and you guys have property or anything combined.
Yeah.
You can't just walk
Yeah,
away.
and let's be clear. It's not just simply on the girl's side, it's on the guy's side too. Because my ex-wife, she cheated on me, but I had so much emotional investment that I didn't end. I actually proposed to her after because I see how much I actually cared about her. Yeah, it still didn't work in the end for numerous reasons, but it's the point of you have to evaluate of it, and both the guy and the girls, and when they experience that, you will feel hurt. You gotta sit there and think about it. First, can I get past this? 2, how much do I really love this person?
Well.
Then 3, then 3, if I leave, do my situation, because this is one of the biggest issues, especially us average people. If I leave, how bad would my situation be once I leave, and can I recover?
That third one, that situation. I'm not gonna stay with you. You're a cheater, you're a liar, you're this and you're that. But I'm staying with you because we have this big house.
Yeah,
and
that
my
to me don't sit right.
situation is gonna change. So I'm just gonna stay there and keep your shit.
That don't sit right with me.
But a lot of the situation when it comes to that, you got kids between it. Now, especially when you have your kids, sometimes the focus has to be what will be the best for them in some cases.
But
It's not a perfect well answer, but you got to take that in consideration too.
But at the same time, for us to raise healthy, happy kids, we still need to be in a healthy, happy situations ourselves. Because what we experience in our life, especially raising child, we're passing it down to them. So I don't want my child to feel like it is okay, it is normal for you to stay in an unhealthy, unhappy situation because you have a child with this person, and because of that, we're living a better life. The better life might be, we be able to have nice things and stuff, but the quality of life that I'm actually having mentally is not good. And we put a lot of emphasis on the physical things and not the mental, how we feel mentally, and that is what drains us, and that is what makes us like, it's not a happy or good way to live life just because I can physically afford whatever the hell I want, but mentally I am sad, I'm depressed, I'm over here like crying myself to sleep. That is not healthy or good in any way for me or the child.
That is true, but it's all that thought process is going towards. Yes, you're going through issues and you are unhappy, but the whole situation overall is not horrible. It's looking at cost of benefits. Yes, we put it like this: if we had infidelity issues, you cheated in there, and I catch you in there, but overall, every other area of function, we're not lashing out in public. Yeah. Occasional cheating. Not talking about affairs or nothing extreme. We're talking about within reason, where there's some problems there, and you leaving. The consequences of leaving is worse than staying, because you decided. Let's be realistic. We decided to have a kid together. Even if we break up, there's still forever ties. In the course of your decision, you have to figure out, you have to take into account of the children, of the child y'all decide to have in the midst of these issues, either whether you found it out or it's sequential, you found it out after. You decide to leave, now the kid has to leave a nicer area where where they can receive better education. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice for the kid. Now, once they turn 18 and are 16, in some cases, and out the fucking door, that's different. Then, hey, you can do what you need to do. Fake it until you make it, if you're able to do so. Now, if it's complete shitty situation, we're arguing all the time, and in front of kids, yes, then that thought process is out the door because it does not matter, because it's still affecting them negatively, even though both parents are in the household. There's no when it comes to this issue, it's very granular. You gotta go to the fine print of issues and tailor it to your situation. Can we get past these things? Are these different factors, can they be overlooked for the sake of them?
I don't know. I think that also leads into, which would be probably another topic of, well, how much of your situation would you involve the kids in? Like, would you ever let them know, like, hey, mommy and daddy aren't in a good place right now. We still love you. We're going to make this fit and work it to your benefit, but just so that you are aware, this isn't good.
That right there, I me personally, it's if y'all want to stay together and try to work it out, there's no point in telling them,
because they already know at that point.
No, but it's the fact of the matter. If you involve kids, you have to keep in mind, if you involve kids in adult conversations too much, especially when they don't truly their thought process is not strong enough to comprehend everything correctly, they're going to apply that and incorrectly into their situation. Which
is true.
So,
I think you shouldn't tell them anything.
So yes.
Until the bond is completely breaking. This situation is no longer this situation. We have to.
I think I look at it a little bit differently. I'm not talking about like little kids, but I'm talking about like teenagers who are, because their next step in life as a teenager is, you're going to finish school and then you want to create a family, right? That's the natural order of life. You do school, you do career, family, right? So it is also a way of setting your child up for knowing the reality of what comes in a relationship. I'm not saying let them know everything. Not saying, well, daddy was up in a strip club every night or mommy was on the pole or anything like that, right? It's just saying, relationships go through rocky times, and this is not necessarily normal, but it is something that you go through.
True.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what kind of kid you have.
Not
all kids can take that pressure on and continue their day. That may just break them. So it depends what kind of kid you have.
That is true.
That is true.
But I definitely feel like this is definitely divulging into a whole nother topic of its own that we will definitely discuss in our next video. Thank you for tuning in today. Make sure to like and subscribe, as well as comment any topics that you would like to hear us discuss, or anything you feel you disagree or agree with.
Yeah, it's nice to have y'all join us. Today we're enjoying some Bacardi. That thing has a nice little bourbon, the gold rum.
Made him forget his question and everything, so I will say drink responsibly.
If you're trying to forget your day, this shit's working.
Please drink responsibly.
It is working, though.